All because her husband carried a hidden crush that lasted more than 10 years. The rich little wife chose to travel back to her senior year, determined to chase after the campus heartthrob who would become her husband, just to stop him from ever meeting that first love. Back then, he was the school's star student and the undisputed campus idol. Bai Yaoyao, once a hopeless fangirl and failing student, now swore she'd only chase her husband, not celebrities. But her path to winning him back was filled with obstacles, not least a childhood friend who wouldn't stop interfering. To make things worse, a rival school belle also jumped in to fight for him. Still, nothing could shake her determination. What she never expected was that the moment she returned, she'd run straight into her biggest high school nemesis. Before she could react, the devil-like homeroom teacher launched into a barrage. Bai Yaoyao, skipping class again? You've got it wrong, teacher. I'm just looking for someone. Looking for who? Don't tell me your future husband's hiding in the gym. Well, turns out he was. Without hesitation, Bai Yaoyao bolted straight into the gym. Among the crowd, Jiang Yingxia spotted her instantly. He pulled off a spectacular three-point dunk, sending the entire gym into a frenzy of cheers. Yet his eyes kept scanning left and right, searching for Bai Yaoyao's figure. When he couldn't find her, he chuckled to himself with a trace of self-mockery. Maybe he just imagined it. Little did she know, the homeroom teacher had chased her all the way to the gym, storming in with fury, ready to drag her back. Bai Yaoyao hid behind the seats, trembling. She finally waited until the teacher left. But then she saw a crowd of girls surrounding Jiang Yingxia, showering him with fangirl devotion. Jealousy surged in Bai Yaoyao's heart. After all, her husband was the ultimate campus heartthrob and admirers were everywhere. Some even grew bold enough to hand him love letters and confess in front of everyone. Who knew if one of them was the first love hidden in his heart? What if he accepted a letter and fell for her? This was the same man she had flash-married, the man she shared sweet nights with as husband and wife. She had to confess first, to claim his heart before he ever met that so-called first love. Just as Jiang Yingxia was about to refuse, Bai Yaoyao couldn't hold back. She jumped out and with all her strength shouted, "Husband!" In an instant, the entire gym froze. Everyone stared at her as if she had lost her mind. Jiang Yingxia was just as stunned, standing there as if lightning had struck him. Only then did Bai Yaoyao realize, 10 years ago, they hadn't even met yet. She had once been nothing more than a failed, aging beauty. But in a blind date gone wrong, or perhaps right, she ran into a wealthy, high-status man who didn't hesitate and married her on the spot. Her husband turned out to be a business mogul in Beijing, handsome, rich, and fit. He not only spoiled her endlessly, but even transferred all his assets into her name before the wedding. From that moment on, she began her luxurious life as a pampered rich wife, doing nothing more than eating and enjoying herself. And after marriage, his care for her only became more meticulous and tender. But Bai Yaoyao wasn't happy at all, because her husband carried a secret crush for more than 10 years. Rumor had it he loved that girl deeply. Then one day she woke up to find herself back 10 years in the past. Without hesitation, she rushed straight to the gym to find her future husband, determined to crush that so-called first love in the cradle. Her outrageous move caused an uproar throughout the school, yet Bai Yaoyao remained unfazed, even sitting ramrod straight in class. The teacher was so startled, thinking the girl must have lost her mind from shock. Her best friend grew even more worried. Why on earth did she rip off all the 4 Heavenly Kings posters? Proudly, Bai Yaoyao announced, "I'm done chasing idols. From now on, I'll only chase my husband. Starting today, I'm going to study hard and get into class 1. Everyone froze in disbelief, suspecting she'd gone crazy after yesterday's gym incident. After class, Bai Yaoyao rushed to find her husband, only to discover the place was jam-packed with people. No matter how hard she looked, she couldn't spot him. Suddenly, someone bumped into her, knocking her phone to the ground. What she didn't realize was that the one who ran into her was none other than Jiang Yingxia. At that moment, her phone rang. On the other end, her best friend urged, "Don't run off. You still have cleaning duty." Bai Yaoyao replied, "Didn't I tell you? I'm here to find my husband." Her best friend tried to talk her down, saying she shouldn't be so obsessed. But Bai Yaoyao insisted, listing her husband's charms with utter seriousness. "He's handsome, has that perfect V-shaped waist and a solid 8-pack. Without realizing it, Bai Yaoyao wandered into the boys' restroom, right as Jiang Yingxia was taking off his shirt. She didn't notice at first. She kept talking, "Most importantly, he's mine." But before she could finish, her eyes landed on the half-naked campus heartthrob. She froze, swallowing the last words back down. Only then did she realize she had stepped into the boys' restroom. Flustered, she stammered an apology and turned to leave. But a strong hand pressed against the door. In the next second, Jiang Yingxia had her pinned against the wall. His voice was low and demanding. "What did you just say I was?" Bai Yaoyao's cheeks turned crimson. She stuttered, "Why, you're my future husband." This bottom-ranked girl, desperate to win over her future husband, even made soup dumplings by hand just for him. Yet the homeroom teacher misunderstood, thinking she was bullying the top student. At the critical moment, the campus idol himself spoke up to clear her name. That only strengthened her resolve to pursue him. Bai Yaoyao's heart warmed. He was still the same as ever. Cold on the outside but gentle in private. In her past life, when the elders pressured her to have children, he was also the one who stood up to shield her with tenderness. In the present, a silly smile spread across Bai Yaoyao's face. Seeing the Iron Lady teacher about to explode again, she quickly grabbed Jiang Yingxia's hand and bolted back toward the classroom. In today's PE class, the teacher paired up students from Class A and Class B, one boy and one girl for sit-up exercises. Bai Yaoyao was brimming with confidence, determined to partner up with the campus heartthrob Jiang Yingxia. But just as she walked toward him full of hope, his fangirls shoved her aside. Realizing her road to winning him over was full of obstacles, she decided on a strategic retreat, for now. At that moment, her childhood friend Li Yanan called out to her and out of habit ruffled her pink hair. Annoyed, Bai Yaoyao tried to mess up his hair in return, but with her short legs she couldn't reach. What she didn't know was that Jiang Yingxia had seen the whole scene. Watching them fool around, a flicker of complicated emotion crossed his eyes. Li Yanan propped up his chin, pretending to hesitate and teased that he didn't know which one of them to choose as a partner. Furious, Bai Yaoyao reached up to smack his head, but her height betrayed her. All she could do was endure his shameless teasing. Just then, a voice cut through their bickering. Jiang Yingxia stepped up to her and asked, "Want to partner with me?" Bai Yaoyao froze for a second. The next moment, joy bloomed across her face as she agreed to her future husband's request. A look of happiness surfaced in Jiang Yingxia's eyes as well. Meanwhile, Li Yanan glared at the campus idol with clear displeasure. The two locked eyes for a brief 0.01 seconds. Then Li Yanan suddenly pulled Bai Yaoyao into his arms. "We've been childhood friends for 11 years. Why would you choose him instead of me?" Bai Yaoyao leaned close, whispering softly in his ear, "Don't mess this up. This is about my lifelong happiness." Li Yanan froze, wanting to ask what she meant by lifelong happiness. But before he could, she shoved him away and walked off with the campus idol. A dark, menacing look instantly clouded Li Yanan's face. Class began. The girls held down their partners' legs while the boys did sit-ups. Bai Yaoyao stared at her future husband, completely smitten, her eyes glued to the faint outline of his abs. She felt like she'd struck gold. At the teacher's command, Jiang Yingxia shot upward. So close their faces were almost touching. Bai Yaoyao's cheeks flushed crimson as she watched him rise and fall again and again. Her mind filled with flashes of being together with him as husband and wife. Each time he came up close, her heartbeat quickened even more. Sure, he was destined to be her husband, but who knew sit-ups could look this sexy? She felt like she was about to lose control, until Jiang Yingxia leaned in, gently brushing her cheek, calling her name as his lips drew closer inch by inch. Bai Yaoyao's brain went completely blank. She blurted out, "Jiang Yingxia, aren't we moving a little too fast?" She thought the campus idol touched her cheek to kiss her, only to realize he was pointing out that she had a nosebleed. Embarrassment hit hard, but thankfully the teacher told Jiang Yingxia to take her to a shaded spot to rest. Supported carefully by her future husband, Bai Yaoyao's heart raced with delight. Only a little closeness from him could make her feel better. It was as if Jiang Yingxia read her mind. His body leaned closer and in the next second her nosebleeds stopped. Soon it was the girl's turn for sit-ups, and this time Jiang Yingxia held her legs as she lay down. With every sit-up bringing her face closer, Jiang Yingxia's heartbeat quickened until his mind went blank. He didn't even register Bai Yaoyao asking, "What number are we at?" His gaze was fixed firmly on a certain part of her body. Cold sweat trickled down as he stammered out, 30. But Bai Yaoyao suddenly flopped back down, pouting, there are still 20 more. I'm so tired. Then she shot up again, leaning close with a playful plea, Jiang Yingxia, can't you cut me some slack? But he just stared at her silently. After a pause, his lips parted. 5 left. Bai Yaoyao's eyes widened in shock. For a so-called top student, the campus idol had actually gone easy on her. Bai Yaoyao teased again, Jiang Yingxia, would you cut other girls some slack too? Jiang Yingxia fought to suppress the storm rising inside him, his heartbeat only racing faster. He was just about to speak, when suddenly the class bell rang and his friends from Class A came to get him. At the same time, Li Yanan grabbed Bai Yaoyao's hand and whisked her away. Jiang Yingxia stood frozen, watching their backs disappear, his heart a tangled mess of emotions. The next day, Bai Yaoyao arrived at school only to receive a gift from him. A bar of gardenia soap he had made himself, along with a bottle of spray. On the flip side, Jiang Yingxia also found a carton of milk from Bai Yaoyao waiting for him. Determined to win over her future husband, Bai Yaoyao camped out by the school gate's convenience stall after class every day, just to accidentally run into him. By now, it was already their 9th coincidence. Each time, Jiang Yingxia's excuse was the same. The water dispenser was broken, so he came to buy a bottle of water. Walking together inevitably drew jealous stares. Other girls whispered that someone like Bai Yaoyao didn't deserve the campus idol, that prettier girls could line up an entire field. Bai Yaoyao burned with rage, wishing she could storm over and slap them. But Jiang Yingxia's icy death stare shot straight at the two girls, scaring them off in an instant. But meeting secretly at the convenience stall wasn't a long-term solution. So at the same time, they both asked for each other's contact info. Little did anyone know, the top student went to that stall every day just to accidentally run into Bai Yaoyao. His friends could tell right away he had fallen for the girl from Class E. But she already had a childhood friend who'd been by her side for years. With a bond that strong, what chance could he have? Jiang Yingxia lowered his gaze, replaying how Bai Yaoyao treated him on the track field. A fire suddenly lit in his chest and a thought surfaced, childhood bonds can't beat destiny. At sunset, fresh from a shower, Jiang Yingxia received a message from Bai Yaoyao. She asked if he wanted to go out with her on Sunday. Remembering what his buddies said earlier, he quickly asked, how many people are going? When he found out it was just the two of them, he finally felt relieved. This was the girl he had secretly loved for so long. It all felt so sudden, almost like a dream. For years he had kept that affection buried deep, staring every day at her old middle school name tag as a reminder. But in the gym, when she called him husband, and again in the restroom when she said he was her future husband, those moments reignited the flames of love in his heart. Bai Yaoyao, are you only caught up in a passing passion? More than never having you, what I fear most is having you then losing you. He longed for her love with all his heart, yet he couldn't help but fear it might only be a fleeting firework, bright and beautiful but gone too soon. Sunday finally arrived. Before heading out, Bai Yaoyao's best friend carefully picked out a sexy, cute lace dress for her. In her heart, she swore today she would win over Jiang Yingxia for sure. But to her shock, the campus idol was seen acting all cozy with another girl. Determined to defend her future husband, Bai Yaoyao charged forward, ready to tear the side chick apart. Instead, she stumbled straight into Jiang Yingxia's arms, the two of them ending up in a tight embrace. Their faces flushed as their eyes locked. The other girl instantly felt like a blinding 5,000-watt light bulb. Seeing Bai Yaoyao's dark expression, Jiang Yingxia politely turned down the flirty girl and immediately walked off with Bai Yaoyao. The amusement park held special meaning. It had been the place of their very first date, one they hadn't visited again since marriage. Just then, Bai Yaoyao's gaze drifted toward a little boy at the shooting booth. She couldn't help but eye one of the prizes on display, a giant teddy bear. Her eyes sparkled, she wanted it badly. So she took the toy gun from the boy's hands to help him out. Bai Yaoyao raised the gun, aimed carefully, and bang! A perfect bullseye. The two little boys looked up at her with awe. Sis, you're amazing. She handed the giant teddy bear to the little boy, bragging, oh, it's nothing, just average skills. It was the first time Jiang Yingxia had seen her so cool and confident. Unable to resist, he ruffled her pink hair and praised, you're amazing. To his surprise, Bai Yaoyao then told him she wanted the teddy bear too. In his eyes, the way she looked right now came with a filter, like a sweet little wife acting cute just for him. The next second he picked up a toy gun ready to win it for her. But after 8 shots he hadn't even grazed the edge of a balloon. The air turned awkward. Bai Yaoyao was speechless, thinking she might have just discovered the campus idol's weakness. Would he silence her now? Jiang Yingxia coughed in embarrassment. This is my first time playing this. Seeing his struggle, Bai Yaoyao immediately guided him hand in hand, her warm breath brushing against his neck. And with her arms wrapped around him from behind, Jiang Yingxia's face flushed red, his body following her step-by-step instructions. Once she corrected his posture, she told him to hold the gun steady and aim at the target. Bang! At last the balloon popped. Bai Yaoyao immediately praised him. "You're amazing." Meanwhile, Jiang Yingxia's heartbeat only grew faster. Watching her hug the giant teddy bear with such satisfaction, he finally revealed a rare smile. Then Bai Yaoyao's eyes were caught by the drop tower ride. In the next second she acted all cutesy, begging to ride it. Jiang Yingxia didn't refuse. As soon as they sat down, Bai Yaoyao remembered a tip from her strategy guide. Pretend to be scared and grab his hand. She quickly squeezed out a few tears. "Jiang Yingxia, I'm so scared." When he didn't believe her, she blinked her big watery eyes and doubled down. "I really am scared." Jiang Yingxia took her hand, murmuring, "See? Now there's nothing to be afraid of." Bai Yaoyao secretly cheered. Yes. She finally held her husband's hand. The drop tower shot up and down, surrounded by screams from every direction. Bai Yaoyao kept crying out, "I'm so scared." Yet inside she was thrilled to the core. When it ended, she still wasn't satisfied. "Jiang Yingxia, I'm so scared. How about we ride it again?" Jiang Yingxia's face turned black, but he gave in to her request anyway. 3 hours later, after surviving her demon tour of rides, Jiang Yingxia felt lightheaded, his whole body floating as dizziness overtook him. He had always been afraid of heights, but for the girl he liked, he endured it in silence. Guilt welled up in Bai Yaoyao's heart. Even with his fear of heights, he still played those rides with her. For a moment she almost thought, maybe his feelings weren't for that so-called first love, but for her. She told him to rest on a bench while she went to buy some water. Jiang Yingxia blamed himself, thinking he was useless. Out on a date, yet she was the one taking care of him. Just then, a middle-aged man walked by with a bottle of liquor. His wife on the phone scolded him not to drink, so he set the liquor-filled water bottle on the bench and walked away. Bai Yaoyao hurried back with a bottle of mineral water. Seeing how miserable Jiang Yingxia looked, her heart ached even more. Still, doubts lingered. Who exactly was Jiang Yingxia's first love? Suddenly, Jiang Yingxia asked, "This bottle of water, did you just buy it?" Without looking, Bai Yaoyao casually replied yes. Jiang Yingxia thought the taste was strange, but still lifted it to his lips and gulped it down. Meanwhile, Bai Yaoyao stared blankly at the Ferris wheel. He had a fear of heights, yet endured all those rides just for her. How much courage must it have taken? And why was he always so gentle with her? Suddenly, Jiang Yingxia's head dropped onto her shoulder. Bai Yaoyao thought he had fallen asleep, her heart wrestling for 0.18 seconds. She told herself she wasn't taking advantage. Gently, she ran her fingers through his soft hair, letting him rest more comfortably against her. She wished this moment could last forever. Then Jiang Yingxia suddenly held her hand, startling her. She blurted, "I wasn't trying to take advantage of you." With alcohol in his system, his expression turned dangerously alluring. He whispered her name as he leaned in closer. Facing the temptation of her future husband, Bai Yaoyao could barely hold herself together. Flustered, she stood up, using the closing time of the park as an excuse to leave. But Jiang Yingxia caught her, his gaze dead serious. "There's still one place we haven't gone." Bai Yaoyao was full of question marks, letting him pull her through the crowd. His urgency left her completely confused. Suddenly, Jiang Yingxia turned back and said he wanted to ride the Ferris wheel. Bai Yaoyao nearly sweat dropped, so it was just the Ferris wheel? But the park was about to close. She suggested coming back next time, yet his eyes burned with determination. No. Tonight. Because this was the ride she had wished for. With his good looks, he easily got them tickets. Once inside the Ferris wheel cabin, Bai Yaoyao couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about him. Maybe all those thrill rides had rattled his head? As the cabin rose to its highest point, Bai Yaoyao finally snapped back to her senses. Jiang Yingxia suddenly leaned in. Have you ever heard the legend of the Ferris wheel? Her heart skipped a beat. He really wasn't acting like himself. The next second, his hand pressed against the back of her head, and his burning lips crashed onto her soft ones. Legend says that if you kiss the one you love at the very top of the Ferris wheel, you'll be together forever. But it all happened so fast, Bai Yaoyao hadn't even processed it. She savored the lingering wetness on her lips, then suddenly realized something was off. She'd sensed Jiang Yingxia wasn't himself earlier, and now it hit her. He had been drinking. Her mind exploded. She had thought he kissed her because he liked her. Instead, was it just a drunken mistake? Was this really what her future husband was like? The disappointment stung. Angry, she cupped his face with both hands. Jiang Yingxia, if you dare forget what happened today, you're dead. Yet even so, her determination to chase him never wavered. After all, that Ferris wheel kiss came when he was drunk. To be safe, she decided to invite him to the movies over the weekend and confess properly. But her mom insisted on taking her to a banquet, and worried tickets might sell out, she asked her childhood friend Li Yanan to buy them for her. Li Yanan never wanted her with the campus idol. And when he learned they had already kissed, jealousy flared inside him, though outwardly he pretended not to care. He even scoffed at her so-called strategy plan. To secure his help, Bai Yaoyao promised to demonstrate a romantic scene for him. Before Li Yanan could react, she lifted his chin, her voice soft and teasing. Do you know why a raven is like a writing desk? Li Yanan's face flushed crimson. Gazing at her, he let out a heartfelt confession that pierced straight into her chest. Because I like you, for no reason at all. Unfortunately, this scene was witnessed by Jiang Yingxia. The same girl who had gone on a date with him yesterday was now confessing to another boy. His eyes showed sorrow, but more than that, unwillingness. Even though he had been drunk yesterday, he remembered every single detail. He never imagined that his love story would end before it had even begun. Jiang Yingxia was the school's acknowledged genius. The school paired him with the campus belle for a national speech contest, so she came to him every recess to discuss the program. To the other students, the two of them looked exactly like a couple in love. But this scene was caught by Bai Yaoyao. Just one day later, her future husband already looked unfaithful. Yesterday he had kissed her. And today he was walking side by side with the campus belle. With her wealthy background, sharp mind, gentle manners, and grace, she embodied every boy's dream of a first love. Bai Yaoyao wondered to herself, could this girl be the first love Jiang Yingxia could never forget? Passing by them, she couldn't help but call out his name. But Jiang Yingxia only glanced at her once before leaving with the belle. He had clearly seen the message she sent, yet chose to ignore it. The memory of her confession to Li Yanan still stung him. Perhaps right now the only choice he had was to fade quietly out of her world. Bai Yaoyao meanwhile sank into disappointment. He saw her message. Why didn't he reply? Was it that after kissing her he no longer loved her? Or was it because he was with the campus belle now? Men really were pigs. Even if he and the campus belle looked like a perfect match, Bai Yaoyao swore to herself, she would win her future husband back. The next day after class, Bai Yaoyao rushed straight to the senior class to find Jiang Yingxia, only to get caught by her childhood friend Li Yanan. Realizing she was there for the campus idol, Li Yanan teased her at the classroom door, waving the movie ticket he had bought just to taunt her, refusing to hand it over. And when he spotted Jiang Yingxia approaching, he deliberately ran his hand through her pink hair. That very moment was seen by both the campus belle and Jiang Yingxia. Jiang Yingxia's eyes flashed with killing intent, his glare saying, "Take your filthy hand off her." Li Yanan, however, shot back a defiant look. "Make me." Bai Yaoyao quickly pushed Li Yanan's hand away and called out joyfully, "Jiang Yingxia." But he pretended not to hear and walked right past her. Her chest tightened, he was ignoring her again. Unable to stand it, she called after him in anger. "Why didn't you reply to my text? I'm the one who got hurt. I didn't force your head down to kiss me, so why are you treating me like this?" The girls nearby gasped as if they had just witnessed the biggest gossip bomb. The school heartthrob kissed a failing student. Yet Jiang Yingxia remained indifferent, as if none of it concerned him. Bai Yaoyao couldn't hold back anymore. Tears streamed down her face. She had no idea what she had done wrong. Why had his attitude toward her spun a complete 360? Seeing the girl he secretly liked cry like that, Jiang Yingxia panicked. He reached out, wanting to wipe her tears away. But Bai Yaoyao slapped his hand away, tears streaming as she turned to leave. Jiang Yingxia, I hate you. Jiang Yingxia stood frozen, teeth clenched, fists tight. The campus bell softly called his name. In the next instant, he slammed his fist into the wall behind her. He couldn't understand, how had things turned out like this? Li Yanan looked on with a mocking grin, his expression full of schadenfreude. Was it really unintentional? Or had it all been on purpose? Bai Yaoyao had been ready to divorce her future husband on the spot, but a piece of campus news suddenly reignited her fighting spirit. If her future husband liked smart and gentle ladies, then she would study hard and earn her way into class 1. Her best friend tried to talk her down. This wasn't just a gap of miles apart, but a brutal 300-point difference. Yet Bai Yaoyao refused to give up. That night, she begged her mom to find her a cram school, one that could raise her score by 300 points in a month. Her parents had long lost hope in their failing daughter, but seeing her pitiful pleading eyes, her mother reluctantly agreed to ask around. The next day, her mom dragged her, carrying bags of gifts, to meet a tutor. When they arrived at an old traditional house, Bai Yaoyao wondered if they had gone to the wrong place. But her mom was full of confidence. This is Grandma Jiang. She's taught for decades. With her guidance, your college entrance exam next year won't be a problem. From that day on, under Grandma Jiang's strict tutelage, Bai Yaoyao did nothing but study. Even her best friend started to look at her with newfound respect. Yet Li Yanan grew inexplicably upset. He tried to discourage her on purpose, hoping she would give up. But Bai Yaoyao had already made up her mind. She chose to ignore his jabs and keep her distance. Still, Li Yanan worried she might patch things up with Jiang Yingxia, so he went to ask her best friend. Hearing that Yaoyao had been busy studying lately, and that Jiang Yingxia had been deliberately avoiding her, he finally eased up a little. Day after day, Bai Yaoyao went to Grandma Jiang's house for tutoring. She never imagined that Grandma Jiang's grandson was none other than Jiang Yingxia. One weekend, Jiang Yingxia returned to the old family house to visit his grandmother. Just as Aunt Jiang came by to excuse her daughter for missing lessons, she had stayed up too late studying and caught a cold. While chatting, Grandma casually mentioned that her grandson and Yaoyao went to the same school. Jiang Yingxia froze. Could the his grandmother was tutoring really be her? After Aunt Jiang left, he carefully asked, Grandma, that student you're tutoring, Yao, is it the one with the character that means grace? When his grandmother confirmed, the corners of Jiang Yingxia's lips curved upward in a faint smile. But from that day on, the two of them lost all contact. Jiang Yingxia once thought they were like two parallel lines, destined never to cross. All he could do was quietly watch her life from the sidelines. But then she became his grandmother's tutoring student. Seizing the chance, he asked his grandmother for Bai Yaoyao's Earth account. While Bai Yaoyao was eating, a friend request popped up. The sender claimed to be Grandma Jiang's grandson, and said he would be tutoring her in physics from now on. She stared at the screen for half a second, then finally accepted the request. The moment Jiang Yingxia successfully added his first love, confidence surged through him. Bai Yaoyao, since you've stepped into my world again, this time I won't let you slip away. After chatting with the school genius, Bai Yaoyao felt as if she had taken one more step closer to class 1. Just then, she spotted a message in a casual group chat. Suzie had once chased after Li Yanan back in freshman year, only to be rejected. She shot upright and immediately shared the news with her bestie, not realizing she'd sent it to the wrong person. Hearing the voice message, Jiang Yingxia's face darkened. He thought she had been diligently studying, yet here she was gossiping. At that moment, Bai Yaoyao just wanted to crawl into a hole and pray he hadn't listened. The very next second, her phone buzzed. Jiang Yingxia had sent her a full set of mock exam questions with a strict time limit. Seeing the message, she finally breathed a sigh of relief. Fired up with determination, she dove straight into the problems. But when she opened the file, she realized every question was handwritten. Her mind raced. Could this top student surnamed Jiang actually be Jiang Yingxia himself? She instantly switched into detective mode. She remembered, on their wedding day there had been an empty seat in the first row reserved for family. Back then, Jiang Yingxia told her it was for his grandmother, hoping that even in another world she could attend their wedding. But he had also said his grandmother passed away during his freshman summer. Yet the Grandma Jiang tutoring her now was healthy and strong, clearly not the same person. Grandma Jiang noticed her distraction and gently asked if she was too tired, since she seemed absent-minded. Yao Yao brushed it off, claiming the problems were too hard. In truth, her head had been filled with strange thoughts lately, making it impossible to concentrate all day. Seeing that it was getting late, Grandma Jiang suggested she stay the night. But Yao Yao insisted on going home, boldly declaring she wasn't afraid of the dark. But the moment she parted ways with Grandma Jiang, reality hit hard. The road home was far darker than she imagined, with unsettling rustling noises all around. Forcing down her fear, Yao Yao switched on her phone flashlight. Suddenly, a shadow darted out of the bushes, knocking her phone to the ground. Squinting, she realized it was just a black cat. As the cat licked its paw, Yao Yao crouched down and stroked its soft fur. "You little rascal, don't do that again. If Grandma Jiang passed by, you'd scare her into a fall." But in the next second, the cat's eyes turned vicious. It sprang away into the trees and vanished. Yao Yao was confused, not noticing the danger closing in, until a strange chill made her uneasy. She spun around, only to see a sleazy man reaching out his filthy hand toward her. When Zhang's mother got the call from the police, she thought something terrible had happened to her daughter. To her shock, the girl was not only unharmed, she had even used grappling techniques she'd secretly practiced to pin down the criminal who preyed on innocent girls. Little did anyone know Yao Yao had come back from 10 years in the future. Someone who would never flinch even if it meant taking on 8 at once. But her parents, worried she might run into danger again, suggested she switch to a tutoring place closer to home. Yao Yao flat out refused. Her grades had just started improving, and only Grandma Zhang's lessons actually made sense to her. On top of that, with Grandma Zhang's genius grandson lending a hand, getting into class 1 was finally within reach. No way was she changing teachers. To her surprise, Grandma Jiang proposed, "Why not just move in with us? We've got plenty of empty rooms." After some hesitation, her parents agreed. And just like that, Yao Yao scored a small victory. This whole brush with danger experience? She could brag about it for a year. But when Li Yanan found out, he strongly opposed it. If she really moved in, they'd no longer walk home together, meaning way fewer chances to see her. Yao didn't care. If he kept whining, she'd gift him her signature move, the rabbit kick to end your bloodline. With Grandma Jiang and her cheat code grandson backing her up, she felt like her meridians had been blasted wide open. Even physics, her worst nightmare, suddenly clicked. One thing was clear, she had to cling to this golden thigh for dear life. What she didn't know was that her so-called cheat code had been watching her the whole time, laughing to himself. Every heartfelt word she just muttered had been heard loud and clear. The moment someone called out Jiang Yingxia's name, she snapped back to reality. Damn it, he'd heard everything. Stiff as a board, she raised a shaky hand and greeted him. "Jiang Yingxia, you're back from the competition. Long time no see." Jiang Yingxia smiled lightly and replied, "Yeah, it really has been a while, my little white rabbit." The moment he stepped off the bus, a crowd of fangirls swarmed him, chattering that the school prince might have just secured a guaranteed spot at Tsinghua or Peking University. Yao Yao scoffed out loud, calling them brain-dead fans, insisting her husband was bound to get in anyway. Yet in truth, she was crouching in a hidden corner herself, sneaking glances at him. After this morning's embarrassment, watching from the shadows felt like the only way to save face. Staring at him from afar felt like the noblest instinct in her body. Little did she know, someone had already crept up right behind her. "You've got quite a collection of twisted theories." The sudden voice nearly scared the soul out of her. Facing her future husband, her cheeks immediately flushed crimson. Having not seen her in so long, Jiang Yingxia decided to tease her. "Classmate by Yao Yao really is full of energy. First you worshipped the study god this morning, and now you're secretly investigating campus intel. Planning to apply for a staff position at school." Yao Yao felt thunderstruck. Great. Just great. Her carefully maintained ladylike image was shattered beyond repair. She quickly grabbed her bestie's hand, babbling that Gila's stomach hurt and they had to rush to the infirmary, then bolted like her life depended on it. Watching her flee, Jiang Yingxia curved his lips into a smile, pulled out his phone and sent her a message. "I'm back. Grandma told me you're moving in. Meet me after school." The moment she received that cheat codes text, Yao Yao finally stopped her little legs from running. Taking a closer look, she realized her tutor also had the surname Jiang. For a second she suspected it might be Jiang Yingxia, but quickly dismissed the thought, patting her chest with confidence. No way. It couldn't be him. She'd already done all the detective work. She was basically a knockoff Conan. Yet she never expected reality to slap her face so soon. Back at the Jiang family's old residence, the very first person to greet her turned out to be Jiang Yingxia. When she first moved into Grandma Jiang's house, Yao Yao had been full of anticipation. But the moment she realized Grandma's genius grandson was none other than Jiang Yingxia, she was completely dumbfounded. Over time, Grandma Jiang had been tutoring her diligently, and Yao Yao had already come to see the old lady as family. But deep down she knew the truth. She had traveled back from 10 years later. And in that timeline, Grandma Jiang passed away peacefully the summer before Jiang Yingxia's freshman year. The thought left a dull ache in her chest. Faced with the full spread of delicious dishes Grandma had prepared, she barely touched her food for fear of worrying her. She forced herself to mask her emotions. After dinner, she sat alone on the swing, lost in thought. If Grandma Jiang died from illness, she'd try everything to save her. But if it was simply old age, what could she possibly do? Late at night, Jiang Yingxia caught her outside, still awake, and asked with concern why she wasn't sleeping. Yao Yao lifted her finger toward the night sky and whispered, "Do people turn into stars after they die?" Jiang Yingxia, ever the model student, replied matter-of-factly, "Technically speaking, stars are celestial bodies visible to the naked eye." Yao Yao's heart sank. Of course, typical scholar logic. But then in the next moment he draped his jacket gently over her shoulders. "Still," he added softly, "I believe when people die they become stars. Look up and you'll see them." His words struck her deeply, and in her mind she pictured Grandma Jiang's face. Forcing a smile, she whispered a request. "It's a little cold. Can I lean on you?" The moment she wrapped her arms around his waist, her tears burst forth like pearls on a broken string. Jiang Yingxia said nothing. He simply stroked her soft hair with quiet tenderness. When she opened her eyes again, it was already morning. She'd cried herself to sleep against him, and now her eyes were swollen like peaches. Determined, she told herself her future husband could never see her like this. She had to wash up fast and hide the evidence. But the moment she stepped outside, she walked straight into the sight of Jiang Yingxia, shirt off, abs on full display. Realizing how inappropriate it looked, he quickly covered himself back up. But Yao Yao was already flustered. What kind of blessed morning was this? Seeing 8-pack abs on a high schooler had to be illegal. To cover her embarrassment, she blurted out, "So what music are you listening to?" At last, maybe they'd find some common ground. But when she slipped on the earbud, she froze. He wasn't listening to music at all. He was studying Alice English. So this is the difference between a top student and a hopeless slacker. After breakfast, Jiang Yingxia was already waiting for her on his bicycle. He had even added a back seat that morning, just so the girl he liked could ride with him to school. What he never expected was that the girl he secretly adored was drooling over his body. Yao Yao spent the whole ride thinking about his abs from earlier that morning. At last, she got her wish and wrapped her arms around him. Both of their faces flushed red as they enjoyed the sweet thrill of biking to school together. Ever since she'd caught a glimpse of his muscles that morning, Yao Yao had been in full fangirl mode. Just imagining those perfect abs and the feeling of hugging him from the back seat made her mouth water. Her bestie called her to grab lunch, but she wasn't interested. Just thinking about her future husband's mouth-watering body was enough to make her feel full. Still, her self-control only lasted 0.88 seconds before she bolted to the cafeteria, because Lu Ji had told her the campus god was eating there today. Outside the cafeteria, a crowd of fangirls had already gathered, gossiping that the reason the top student was eating on campus was because his mom was away on a business trip, so he was staying at Grandma Jiang's house and couldn't eat at home. But only Yao Yao knew the real reason. Jiang Yingxia had always preferred light meals, and the cafeteria food was too oily and heavy. She couldn't help but worry. Could he really handle the school food? Jiang Yingxia picked up a leaf of vegetable, rinsed it in the nearby water, then nodded in approval as he popped it into his mouth. Yao Yao thought to herself, damn, her husband's little habits were unbearably cute. Then it hit her. If he couldn't stomach cafeteria food, this was her chance to earn brownie points, as the saying goes, when a man's heart through his stomach. Her plan: deploy the ultimate girl power move, a heart-made bento that would stop any boy in his tracks. Fired up, she was suddenly bonked on the head. Turns out it was Li Yanan who warned her the chicken leg meal she loved was sold out. He did have one extra, so Yao Yao lunged for it, only for Li Yanan to jokingly demand she offer herself in exchange for the chicken. Yao snapped. Fine, keep the drumstick, get lost. The whole scene was caught by Jiang Yingxia's eyes. Revenge served privately. Once home, he put her straight into a brutal cram schedule. No chance for her and her childhood friend to hang out. He'd crafted a custom, merciless study plan just for her. Follow it to the letter and she'd make class 1. Only if she was in class 1 within his sightline would he feel at ease. Determined to displace the first love in his heart, Yao Yao went all in. I'm the slave of studying, tutor, whip me as you please. The next morning, Yao Yao was up at 5, chopping radishes to prepare a love bento. After an hour of effort, she finally finished, cute and delicious, a bento straight from the heart. But to her misfortune, Jiang Yingxia, returning from his morning run, caught her in the act. His heart tightened. Who exactly was this for? On the way to school, even with Yao Yao clinging to him from the back seat, unease gnawed at him. Was the bento meant for him, or for Li Yanan? Distracted the whole ride, he nearly lost focus when Yao Yao insisted on hopping off midway, saying she'd wait for Lu Ji and Li Yanan. That sealed it in his mind. Of course, the bento was for Li Yanan. But just as he was about to leave, Yao Yao called out to him. She shoved the love bento into his arms with a quick, "Make sure you eat properly," then bolted away. Instantly, a smile bloomed across his face. All the morning's doubts vanished in a rush of happiness. At noon, his buddy Xiaoqi mentioned how the cafeteria had been packed thanks to the school heartthrob's influence. He worried Jiang might miss out on food. But Jiang Yingxia simply pulled out a love bento. One look and Xiaoqi knew. This had "girlfriend made" written all over it. Naturally, he wanted to gossip about who it was. Jiang, however, kept it secret when Xiaoqi reached for the box, whining, "At least let me taste the flavor of young love." Jiang shielded it fiercely that he barely had enough for himself. No way was he sharing. Jiang Yingxia popped a bite of food into his mouth and Xiaoqi muttered, "With the number of girls chasing you, you could circle the whole track field, yet you still come after my stuff?" Left gnawing on a stale sandwich, Xiaoqi could only glare with envy, jealousy, and resentment. Some guys just had all the luck. That's when Jiang Yingxia spotted a pair of bunny ear hairpins peeking from outside the door that he knew instantly. It was Yao Yao. So he raised his voice on purpose. "This bento tastes way better than the cafeteria food." Xiaoqi groaned even louder. "Show off, don't rub it in." Outside, Yao Yao's cheeks lit up with joy. Hearing her future husband praise her cooking made her grin from ear to ear. After all, the saying went, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Just then, Lu Ji caught sight of her own crush. The two girls crouched side by side at the doorway, each secretly admiring their chosen dish. Suddenly, Li Yanan showed up, making the two sneak peekers nearly jump out of their skin. That he raised a brow. What were they doing skulking outside his class? Yao Yao quickly blurted, "I'm about to get into class 1, so I'm just scoping out the place." Li Yanan burst out laughing. "If you can get into class 1, I'll wash my hair standing on my hands in front of the whole school." Yao Yao fumed, her face bright red. She pounded his shoulder with her tiny fists. "How dare you look down on me?" Unfortunately, the whole scene was perfectly visible from inside the classroom. Xiaoqi wasted no time blurting out, "Look, by Yao Yao's back here flirting with Li Yanan again." Seeing Jiang Yingxia's face darken, he added with a sly grin, "That bento you're guarding, isn't it from her? But judging by this, who knows if her real target is you, or Li Yanan?" Jiang Yingxia's confidence wavered that he'd always believed he was her goal. But Xiaoqi's words planted doubt. Was he really the one in her heart? Jiang Yingxia stepped out of the classroom, put an end to their scuffle and told Yao Yao to focus on her studies. That night when he got home, he found a long banner hanging up, "Yao Yao's doing." Seeing the girl he liked take a casual jab from Li Yanan so seriously stirred a hint of jealousy in him that he tossed her a thick stack of practice papers. But Yao Yao was never one to sit still. Complaining that drilling questions was too slow, she begged Jiang Yingxia to tutor her 1-on-1. That in her excitement she lost her balance and crashed right into him, sending them both tumbling onto the sofa. Flustered, she pushed herself up only to hear a loud rip. She'd torn his shirt. Face burning red, Jiang Yingxia sat up and scolded her. Yao Yao's heart pounded like a drum. She was mortified. Yet instead of pushing her away, Jiang Yingxia gently stroked her hair, gazing deep into her eyes. I've been meaning to ask, why do you want to get into class 1? Who is it for? Her heartbeat quickened, matching his. With their pulses racing, Jiang Yingxia finally lost control, pressing a hand to the back of her head as he leaned closer. He could have taken it further, but doubt gnawed at him. So at the very peak of the moment, he whispered the question that had haunted him for days. Who are you really doing this for? Yao Yao's lips froze just inches away. You really don't know who I'm doing this for? She whispered. Jiang Yingxia gave a soft Rage flared in her chest. Of course it's for you. Even if you've got some white moonlight in your heart, I still want to stay by your side. She grabbed his hand and pressed it to her cheek. You can't pretend you don't know. Their hearts pounded faster and faster, his voice low as he kept calling her name. Just as their lips were about to touch, Jiang Yingxia slammed the brakes. His finger flicked down hard on her forehead. The charged atmosphere shattered instantly. Yao Yao stared, baffled. Why'd you flick me all of a sudden? He forced a calm tone. That was your punishment for the wrong answer. Studying is about chasing your own dreams, your own worth. Then, tossing out an order for her to keep drilling questions, he bolted from the crime scene. Yao Yao clawed at her hair in silent frustration. Why now of all times? They were this close. What she didn't know was that Jiang Yingxia was just as shaken. The image of her from that moment kept replaying in his mind. He'd almost lost control. Soon, the day before the monthly exam arrived. Yao Yao had been determined to score well. But fate wasn't on her side. Her period hit without warning, leaving her doubled over in pain all morning. And with the test tomorrow, skipping wasn't an option. On exam day, Li Ji thoughtfully handed her some painkillers. Once she swallowed them, she felt instantly revived. With the medicine working, Yao Yao breezed through the test. And every question turned out to be something Jiang Yingxia had drilled her on. But the moment she turned in her paper, the pain came rushing back. The medicine had worn off, leaving her weak and exhausted. She couldn't help recalling how 10 years later, her husband would always stay home to take care of her during these days. The memory of their married life warmed her heart. Whispering his name under her breath, she suddenly saw Jiang Yingxia appear with a cup of hot milk. Drink this, it'll help, he said. Afraid he might leave, she tugged on his sleeve and murmured, Husband, it hurts so much. Seeing her pale face, Jiang Yingxia even went out of his way to buy her a cute heating patch. She slipped again and called him husband, but instead of rejecting it, he gently let her rest her head on his shoulder. To her, whether he was 18 or 29, Jiang Yingxia was always that same gentle, caring man. That's why she could never let go. She swore to herself that she would take the place of his so-called white moonlight. Right now, with him by her side, she finally felt safe, and soon drifted into a deep sleep. Li Ji came by to check on her and maybe walk her home, only to stumble right into a full-blown romantic scene. Jiang Yingxia pressed a finger to his lips, quietly shushing. He didn't want anyone waking Yao Yao. Meanwhile, Li Ji bolted out of the red light zone. The moment she stepped through the school gates, she ran right into Shao Qi, who was waiting for Jiang Yingxia, and Li Yenan, who was waiting for by Yao Yao. Afraid they'd disturb the couple's private world, she shoved them both along, brushing it off with, "The teaching building's been empty for ages. They might be further ahead." As Yao Yao's bestie, that was all she could do. But Shao Qi gave her a sly look. Why so nervous? Hiding something? Li Ji shot back quickly. No. Shao Qi instantly puffed up, grinning. Oh, I get it. You got nervous because you saw a handsome guy like me, right? Li Ji deadpanned. Don't flatter yourself, Shao Qi. Not every girl likes your type. That threw him off. She actually knew his name. His interest in her spiked right away. Back inside, Jiang Yingxia waited until Yao Yao finally woke up before carrying her on his back. She wanted to walk on her own, but there was no way he'd let the girl he liked limp in pain. Worried she might catch a chill, he immediately ordered a ride to take her home. Yao Yao's cheeks burned, and she instinctively tightened her arms around him. His care moved her deeply. To her, just having him there was enough. She took 2 days off to rest at home, and when she returned to school, she was fully recharged again. Li Ji had been worried when she couldn't find Yao Yao earlier, but seeing her now looking healthier than ever finally put her mind at ease. What she didn't know was that during those 2 days off, both Grandma Jiang and Jiang Yingxia personally took care of Yao Yao, feeding her nourishing soups every day. No wonder her complexion was glowing. Then Lu Ji suddenly remembered. Today was the day grades were released. She handed Yao Yao her report card. But Yao Yao hesitated, nervous about what if she hadn't done well. Lu Ji reassured her. Trust me, it's all good news. No bad surprises. Just look. With her heart pounding, Yao Yao glanced down and nearly froze. 670 points. Was this really her score? Lu Ji added excitedly. The lowest score in Class A was only 648. That means you're in. All your hard work finally paid off. Right then, someone tried to sneak away after being proven wrong, only to be stopped by Yao Yao's sharp shout. Li Yenan, clearly flustered, mumbled that he didn't even see her. But Yao Yao fired back. So, what brand of shampoo do you want? Didn't you say if I got into Class A, you'd do a headstand and wash your hair in public? Li Yenan broke into a cold sweat. Childhood friends or not, did she really have to take it this seriously? But Yao Yao pressed on. So, is it headstand with Rejoice shampoo or 2 weeks of buying me meat-filled lunches? Li Yenan's eyes darted as he quickly came up with a plan that he just happened to have some first-hand dirt on Jiang Yingxia. Spare me, he bargained, and I'll tell you a shocking secret. With half doubt in her heart, Yao Yao struck a deal with him. Li Yenan leaned in close to her ear and whispered, Jiang Yingxia, he's in a relationship. To find out who her future husband's girlfriend was, the 28-year-old study dummy traded the intel for a full fried chicken feast. But to her shock, it was nothing but a scam. The gossip had bounced right back on her. On the day of the monthly exam, when cramps hit her hard, Jiang Yingxia had quietly waited until everyone left, then carried her home on his back. What she didn't expect was that someone had secretly taken a photo of that moment. Even worse, her childhood friend used that blurry backview shot to trick her into buying him dinner. How was that supposed to prove Jiang Yingxia had a girlfriend? Wouldn't she know best whether they were together or not? Furious, Yao Yao grabbed the chicken leg and chomped down. Paying money just to eat her own gossip. Seriously, a top student like Jiang Yingxia, how could he possibly be dating this early? Besides, after living under the same roof for so long, the closest they'd gotten was that almost kiss, which he ruined with a flick to her forehead. But tomorrow she'd finally transfer into Class A and sit beside him. From then on, she'd keep a close eye on her future husband. No one else would get the chance to date him. Li Yenan, however, froze. Wait, did she really not know? He was just about to spill the truth when Jiang Yingxia suddenly interrupted. A teacher had called him over to confirm his application form. But Li Yenan didn't miss a beat. No need to think about it, he said coldly. Then with a provocative smirk he added, compared to some people, at least I know exactly what I want. Yao Yao was dying to know what that form was about, but Li Yenan brushed her off, saying, some things aren't good for you to know. Refusing to give up, she turned to Jiang Yingxia and pressed, then what form was it exactly? Jiang Yingxia casually replied, just a regular application form. He pinched her cheek with a smile and added, Grandma said we're having hot pot tonight, to celebrate you. With that he turned back to his class, leaving Yao Yao no closer to the truth. She muttered to herself, why was everyone acting so mysterious? After school, they all went to the hot pot restaurant. Yao Yao had even prepared custom dipping sauces to match everyone's taste. But Grandma suddenly frowned in suspicion. Her grandson always used 2 dipping sauces, something only family members knew. How did Yao Yao know that? Yao Yao instantly panicked. She had accidentally exposed her wifey instincts. Luckily, Jiang Yingxia quickly smoothed things over. Lots of people eat like that, Grandma. It's nothing. He kept placing meat into Yao Yao's bowl, and in Grandma's eyes, that small gesture carried a whole different meaning. As expected, Yao Yao ate way too much, so Jiang Yingxia gently supported her as they headed toward the restroom. On the stairs, she got a little too excited and slipped. Jiang Yingxia reacted instantly, catching her and pulling her straight into his arms. Their hearts pounded wildly, and Yao Yao's face flushed with embarrassment. Every time she was with Jiang Yingxia, she seemed to lose her balance from sheer excitement. Jiang Yingxia wrapped his arms around her slim waist, their eyes locking as the air between them grew undeniably charged. But just then Grandma walked in. Yao Yao, what are you two doing? Yao Yao was about to explain when Grandma tapped her own forehead. Oh, I forgot something. Watching Grandma's comically awkward performance, both of them burst into laughter. Jiang Yingxia quickly added, come on, let's buy you some digestion tablets before you end up tumbling again from overeating. On the way, Yao Yao couldn't stop giggling. Jiang Yingxia frowned in confusion. What's got you so happy? She smiled sweetly. I was just thinking, soon we'll be in the same class that we can eat together and you can help me with the hard questions. He opened his mouth to respond, but when he saw the anticipation in her eyes, he held back his words. The next morning Yao Yao rushed to class 1, only to be assigned a seat right next to Li Yenan. Li Yenan grinned. Yao Yao, we really are fated, huh? She rolled her eyes. If this is fate, then it's a cursed one. Yao Yao had memorized the entire seating chart, knowing Jiang Yingxia's seat would be right in front of hers. But no matter how long she waited, he never showed up. Li Yenan leaned over with a smirk. Stop waiting. Jiang Yingxia isn't coming. This year, Shichi University started an off-campus selection program, so our school created an elite class. He's already been placed there. Yao Yao froze on the spot. Damn it. Why didn't that blockhead tell her? That night, when Jiang Yingxia came home, he found Yao Yao sitting alone. Yao Yao, can we talk? She snapped back. Talk about what? Sneaking off to the elite class without a word. Sorry doesn't fix it. Her anger flared. Why didn't you tell me? Were you afraid I'd stop you? You can affect my mood so easily. Why can't you do something that makes me happy for once? As she turned to leave, Jiang Yingxia grabbed her hand. I was afraid I'd lose focus. I've always been moving toward my goal. But when I look at you, I just want to stop. His voice softened, eyes burning with emotion. Yao Yao, you make me not want to let go. Her cheeks burned crimson. Flustered, she spun around and ran off. All of this, however, had been witnessed by Grandma. Grandma sighed. Xia, I don't know what you did to upset Yao Yao, but she's a girl, and girls need to be coaxed. Meanwhile, Yao Yao's heart was racing. Jiang Yingxia's words kept echoing in her head. What on earth was that blockhead saying? That sounded exactly like a confession. Just as she was wondering how to make up with Jiang Yingxia, he showed up on his own. Studying's important, but you can't do it on an empty stomach. Grandma asked me to bring you dinner. The moment she saw the food, Yao Yao turned into a foodie queen. Fine, I'll forgive you this time for the sake of this corn, but no more secrets, got it? Jiang Yingxia nodded. I promise, no more secrets. Actually, there's something I need to tell you. I'm leaving for a competition in Pingqing tomorrow morning. I'll be gone for a few months. Yao Yao panicked. You're leaving tomorrow? Then why are you still standing here? Have you packed? You're such a picky eater. I'll make you some bento boxes. Watching her fuss over him, Jiang Yingxia felt warmth flood his chest. He gently stopped her. Don't I just want to spend more time with you? She thought the moment would turn sweet, but the next second that blockhead pinned her to a chair, only to assign her homework. The next morning, Yao Yao looked at the pink bicycle and smiled. Blockhead, take care of yourself. I'll be right here waiting for you. 2 months passed since Jiang Yingxia left for Pingqing. Yao Yao turned her longing into fuel, studying harder than ever, her grades climbing to the middle ranks. The downside? She'd worked herself into a full-on panda look. On New Year's Eve, the big screen lit up with the words, "Who do you most want to see at midnight?" Yao Yao felt a wave of loneliness. She pulled out her phone, thinking that blockhead was probably asleep by now. Suddenly, her phone rang. It was him. Excited, she blurted, "Why aren't you asleep? Isn't everyone busy preparing for the finals?" He chuckled softly. "I snuck out, almost missed the chance to spend New Year's with you." His words melted her heart. As the clock struck midnight, a new year began. Yao whispered to herself, "Blockhead. Turns out the only thing standing between me and loneliness is you. Meeting you is the best thing that's ever happened." The next morning, Yao Yao felt like she might freeze to death. Just as she was about to leave for school, a familiar voice came from beside her. "Why didn't you pack warm clothes ahead of time? Always worrying me. Luckily, I brought something for you." Seeing Jiang Yingxia walk up, Yao Yao could hardly believe her eyes. She'd been thinking of him last night, and now here he was in the morning. "Stop daydreaming. Put this on. Hop up, I'll take you to school." It felt like a dream, like someone dropping a sweet candy into her palm. She asked, curious, "You came back early. I heard your team returns tomorrow. You didn't mention coming back on the phone. Did you book a last-minute ticket?" He shrugged. "Yet I just missed home, so I came back early." Seeing his ears flushed, Yao Yao smirked. "Missing home makes you blush now. Why are your ears red?" He played it off. "Because it's cold." She peered closer. "That doesn't look like the cold. Your ears are warm, not frozen." All day she couldn't stop smiling like a lovesick fool at his return. Her childhood friend couldn't help teasing. Yao Yao, did you forget your meds this morning? You've been giggling through class. Li Yenan added, this is the smile of someone in love. You wouldn't get it. Hurry up and finish class, I'm going to see that blockhead. But when she actually faced Jiang Yingxia, Yao Yao lost her words and froze. Finally she blurted, stumbling over the confession she'd held back for days. Jiang Yingxia, I've been holding this in for 76 days. I miss you. Just as they were about to get a little too cozy, Grandma appeared out of nowhere and called them in for dinner. They froze like kids caught doing something naughty, completely sheepish. Grandma announced that Juan's parents had been transferred for work and that he'd be staying with them for a while. The moment Yao Yao heard his name, she went pale. Turns out, she and Juan had been childhood partners in crime. His mom was her mom's best friend and she used to drag him over to playhouse, even making him dress up as a girl. In elementary school, she'd stolen his red scarf and forced him to do her homework. Basically checked off the full checklist of childhood mischief. Panic set in. If Juan blabbed anything in front of Jiang Yingxia, her image would be ruined, maybe even affect her future marriage. She couldn't just wait, she needed to strike first. So she decided to teach him a lesson before he ever had a chance to meet Jiang Yingxia. The next day Juan arrived on time and seeing what looked like a sleeping beauty, announced, so this is the pretty sister Grandma mentioned. He leaned in for a better look. Then Yao Yao popped awake and screamed, it's you, you pervy girl. Someone save me. When he started to cry out, Yao Yao tackled him and hissed, once we go inside, none of your old stories come out, that if Jiang Yingxia ever hears, I'll bury you. Juan blinked, confused. What stories? What secret? With Jiang Yingxia standing right behind them, Yao Yao instantly transformed back into a sweet, obedient bunny. Oh, nothing. Come on, let's go inside. She pushed him into the house with a conspiratorial grin. Back in the living room, Li Juan immediately tattled to Grandma at Yao Yao's fists clenched. She wanted nothing more than to strangle this idiot. Yet he put on a righteous face. Yao Yao, even if it kills me, I'll expose you. Treating me like a slave was bad enough, but now you're trying to fool my cousin and Grandma. Dream on. Before he could finish, Jiang Yingxia stood up and cut him off. Enough? Eat first. After dinner, Yao Yao spotted Jiang Yingxia repainting his bike. Her heart warmed. Soon they'd be going to school together again, but then nerves crept in. Jiang Yingxia, what Juan said, it's true that I really did bully him a lot when we were kids. You don't hate me for that, right? Jiang Yingxia just smiled. Not at all. Honestly, I'm a little jealous of Juan. The way he talks about you is a side I've never seen. I like hearing stories about your childhood, good or bad, but I only want to hear them from you. Yao Yao's cheeks turned crimson. Then you're not allowed to laugh. Meanwhile, the world's brightest 2500-watt light bulb, Juan, was watching every second of their little moment. The next morning, Yao Yao woke up and noticed two toothbrushes sitting side by side. A mischievous grin spread across her face. Suddenly, a chill ran down her back. She froze, quickly finished washing up and rushed off to find her wooden block. Seeing sweat beading on Jiang Yingxia's forehead, Yao Yao hurried over and gently wiped it away for him. Meanwhile, Li Juan kept lurking on the sidelines watching the two of them. During breakfast, Yao Yao finally snapped. Li Juan, are you out of your mind? Why are you haunting me first thing in the morning? Since you've already exposed yourself, fine, I'll find out exactly why you're living here. She rolled her eyes and added coldly, I'm here for tutoring. Das if a slacker like you would ever care about studying. When Jiang Yingxia casually mentioned that Yao Yao was now in class A, Juan froze. His worldview collapsed on the spot. He tried to pull up a chair only for Jiang Yingxia, face dark and full of killing intent, to order him aside. Suddenly breakfast tasted like ash. Bro, why are you being so mean to me? After the meal, Juan's eyes lit up at the sight of the bike that he was just about to hop on when he got flat out rejected. Watching the two walk away together, Juan exploded. Yao Yao, this is all your fault. You stole my brother's love from me. Huffing and puffing, he bolted toward the school gates, only to be greeted by Yao Yao's smug, mischievous grin. In an instant, Li Juan found himself on the receiving end of Yao Yao's threat. Listen up, what you saw about me living with Jiang Yingxia stays between us. That if anyone finds out, I'll be the first to bury you. Juan suddenly pretended to get it, so, Yao, are you into my bro? From across the field someone complained, "It's your fault for dawdling. Now the good dishes are gone." Yao Yao rolled her eyes and protested in a mock whine. "Sorry, I was hiding from you. Because you won't stop asking if I like." Jiang Yingxia. "It's annoying." But of course she hadn't managed to hide. Jiang Yingxia noticed her plate was all veggies and no meat. He reached to give her some, only to have Li Yenan snag it first. The rival couldn't help the jab. "Here, Yao Yao, open up. Is it tasty?" Yao Yao was about to clap back when her childhood friend smacked her lightly. "Remember to spit the bones, don't choke." What followed was a classic jealous food tug. Too much flirting, too much envy, so Yao Yao feigned faintness and slipped away. Junhuan watched her go, suspicious. She's definitely up to something. No sooner had Yao Yao stepped outside than her phone exploded with notifications. Scowling, she muttered, "These brain-dead fans think I won't clap back. Just wait." But when Bai Yao Yao looked at the photo of Jiang Yingxia feeding her, she turned into a fangirl again, thinking this shot was really well taken. Suddenly, Li Junhuan appeared out of nowhere, startling her. He sneered, "Bai Yao Yao, I saw everything just now. Not only do you run a fan group for my brother, you even call him your husband. That's puppy love. I'm telling Aunt Jiang." Bai Yao Yao wanted nothing more than to silence him, to keep her secret from spreading, but he pressed on. "Bai Yao Yao, do you actually like my brother?" She swore to herself she couldn't admit it. Otherwise Junhuan would surely tell on her and she'd be dragged back home. She forced herself to deny it. "I don't like Jiang Yingxia." But as soon as she turned around, Jiang Yingxia was already standing behind her. He said calmly, "Aunt Jiang just called. Remember to return her call when you have time." Bai Yao Yao tried to explain, but Jiang Yingxia cut her off. "Junhuan, stop asking weird, awkward questions. Bai Yao Yao and I are just ordinary friends. Don't make things difficult for her." Watching his back as he walked away, Bai Yao Yao felt a sharp ache in her chest and burst into tears. Seeing her cry, Li Junhuan's heart softened instantly. To comfort her, he swore, "I'll never tell Aunt Jiang about you and my brother." But the next second Bai Yao Yao lifted her head, tears still on her face yet smiling. "That's a good oath. Don't you dare go back on it. And really, after the way my brother acted just now, why are you so happy?" She muttered to herself, "Of course you wouldn't understand, Li Junhuan. Seeing that blockhead lose his temper, it's just so cute. Blockhead, you're mine sooner or later." Bai Yao Yao tried to win Jiang Yingxia over with food, but in the process she accidentally cut her finger. When she turned around she caught Li Junhuan sneaking bites. Gritting her teeth she snapped, "You little pest. You ate all my side dishes. Time to pay with your life." Li Junhuan bolted, but in his panic he ran straight into Jiang Yingxia, spilling the food all over his clothes. Seeing Jiang Yingxia's shirt stained, Bai Yao Yao rushed to clean it for him, but he refused. Watching his back as he walked away, she felt her plan had completely failed. Determined, she decided to try again with more food. Not long after, Jiang Yingxia came back out and told Li Junhuan to hand Bai Yao Yao a band-aid. Li Junhuan glanced at the band-aid in his hand, utterly speechless. "Seriously? Are you two just showing off your love in front of me?" Soon, Bai Yao Yao finished cooking again. But when Jiang Yingxia still ignored her, she decided to tell him a story. She grinned. One day, a little bear was washing clothes, but there was always one spot that wouldn't come clean. His mom told him to scrub harder. Guess what the little bear said? He said, I was wrong. Yet the blockhead still didn't react at all, leaving Bai Yao Yao embarrassed. She turned and ran off in a hurry. After she left, Jiang Yingxia still obediently finished the meal. Back at school, Bai Yao Yao was puzzled. In her previous life, these tricks always worked. So why were they useless now? Suddenly, she spotted Jiang Yingxia with Suzie outside. Staring at their backs, her heart skipped a beat. That jerk. Could he really be shifting his feelings because he's mad at me? She quietly trailed after them. Soon, music drifted from the classroom. Suzie asked softly, "Yingxia, does this piece sound nice?" Jiang Yingxia only gave a brief and said nothing more. From outside, Bai Yao Yao nodded in agreement to herself. "Yeah, it does sound pretty good. If I had that skill, I'd blast it over the school loudspeakers for everyone to hear. But no matter how talented you are, you're not stealing my Jiang Yingxia." Suzie's voice grew tender. "Yingxia, this song is about longing and love. When I composed it, my mind was filled with you. Yingxia, I like you." The very next moment, Jiang Yingxia rejected her flatly. "Sorry, I've never thought about that kind of thing. Goodbye. Eavesdropping outside by Yao Yao was overjoyed. As expected of my cold, aloof male god, his rejection was merciless. Who knew he'd be so virtuous? Tonight I'll cook something delicious to reward you. Meanwhile, Suzie Shin's face had already turned dark. She muttered bitterly, You say you've never thought about it, but what about Bai Yao Yao? I won't accept this. I'll never hand you over, especially not to that useless Bai Yao Yao. The next second, Suzie Shin suddenly threw her arms around Jiang Yingxia, pleading, I mean it, I'm serious. Please don't leave me. Outside, Bai Yao Yao was fuming, nearly exploding. Shameless. Going in for a tackle, huh? Jiang Yingxia, hold on, I'm coming to save you. Just as she was about to rush in, a discipline monitor spotted her. Hey student, exam's over. Why are you still wandering around here? Bai Yao Yao laughed awkwardly. Sorry, I'll leave right now. Inside, Jiang Yingxia heard the familiar voice of his little wife. Startled, he shoved Suzie Shin away at once. But when he opened the door, there was no one outside. Over the next few days, Bai Yao Yao couldn't stop brooding, wondering what place she really held in Jiang Yingxia's heart. Just then Li Yan'an showed up. She blurted out, Li Yan'an, who do you think looks better, me or Suzie Shin? Li Yan'an gave her a look of disbelief. Bai Yao Yao, are you even a girl? Honestly, I think the only people in the world who see you as one are my parents. That I heard they even bought you a dress this time when they came back. The moment Bai Yao Yao heard that Li Yan'an's parents were here, she got all excited. She grabbed his arm. Come on, let's tell Lu Ji. After school tonight we're heading straight to the restaurant. Meanwhile, Jiang Yingxia watched it all unfold. Jealousy spilled over. He turned into a little crybaby and secretly wiped away tears. Bai Yao Yao had no idea she'd upset him again. Instead, she happily went to meet Li Yan'an's parents. The moment they met, Li Yan'an's mother pulled her close. Our Yao Yao is so pretty. This dress suits you perfectly. How about being our daughter-in-law? Li Yan'an immediately protested. Mom, what are you saying? Li Yan'an's father teased. Hey, wasn't this kid always shouting he'd marry Yao Yao when he was little? Now he's grown and suddenly shy? The dinner wound down. Full from the meal, Bai Yao Yao stepped outside to feel the breeze, wondering why hasn't Jiang Yingxia messaged me yet? Li Yan'an came out too, groaning, I can't take it. My parents are already daydreaming up names for future grandkids. Bai Yao Yao burst out laughing. They've always teased the two of us, but it's fine. Just treat it like a joke. When it comes to parents, let things go in one ear and out the other. She could laugh it off, but a thought nagged at her. What if I actually take their words seriously? Then Li Yan'an suddenly asked, Do you only want Jiang Yingxia? In fact, from the moment I met Jiang Yingxia, I'd already drawn up a perfect plan. What plan? Obviously, the blueprint to win him over. So when you ask if I only want Jiang Yingxia, maybe so. Because in my plan there was never room for anyone else. Hearing this, Li Yan'an stayed silent for a moment before walking away. Watching his retreating back, Li Ji let out a soft sigh. Yao Yao, what were you talking about with Li Yan'an? Nothing much, he just suddenly asked me about love. Lu Ji wanted to tell her that Li Yan'an actually liked her, but Bai Yao Yao's phone buzzed with a new message. Seeing the love-struck expression on her face, Lu Ji decided not to say anything. A mischance is still a mischance. Even if Yao Yao knew Li Yan'an's feelings, what good would it do? It would only bring her more trouble. Meanwhile, Jiang Yingxia wanted to ask her about what happened earlier that day, but in the end he held back. His chest tightened with frustration. Why can that bastard get so close to her so freely, while I have to restrain myself every step of the way? Agitated, he dragged Li Juanhuan out for a run. But after only a short while, Jiang Yingxia turned around to find Li Juanhuan collapsed on the ground in pain. Meanwhile, when Bai Yao Yao learned from her mother that Li Juanhuan had been hospitalized, she rushed to the hospital in a panic. The doctor explained that his knees were severely worn down, he might never be able to run again. Bai Yao Yao's heart twisted in pain as she recalled the days of childhood, when she and Li Juanhuan raised a stray kitten together. One day the kitten suddenly darted off, and no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't catch it. Right before their eyes, it was hit by a car. Li Juanhuan always said if only he had run faster, Xiaohua wouldn't have died. From then on, running became his dream. Do you know what it means to tell him to give it up? But with his condition now, even if he forced himself to train, it wouldn't last long. In the end, he'd risk ending up in a wheelchair. Is it really worth it? Bai Yao Yao thought back to her previous life, when Li Juanhuan, under his family's persuasion, gave up his dream. After graduation, he joined a wildlife rescue organization that he seemed happy, but there was always a shadow of sadness in his eyes. Suddenly, she shoved Jiang Yingxia beside her and snapped, "You already drew up his whole recovery plan. Why don't you try believing in yourself for once?" Li Juanhuan's lips curved into a faint smile. "See, Bai Yaoyao gets me. Maybe I should make a dramatic recovery right now and give a speech about my great ideals." But the next second an argument erupted beside her. "Your neckline is so low. At that pose I can almost see everything. Jiang Yingxia, you pervert. When you horse around with Li Yan'an, are you this out of line? Why are you bringing him up again?" Li Juanhuan rolled his eyes in exasperation and thought, "How am I supposed to make a dramatic, handsome recovery now? My butt's itching. Stop making out in front of my bed." The next day at lunch, everyone was in high spirits. The specialty students were still in training. Where had Juanhuan been these past 2 days? Li Juanhuan. His old knee injury flared up again. He's been sent home to rest. "Yao Yao, you had such a big deal happen, why didn't you tell us?" "Relax, he's at home being waited on and he told me not to tell you." Jiang Yingxia walked over. As soon as they sat down, the group started vying and sulking, shooting each other murderous glares. Suddenly Bai Yaoyao stood up and snatched Jiang Yingxia's plate. "Why are you still eating Chinese yam? You're allergic to it. How many times do I have to tell you?" Li Yan'an protested. "How do you know that so well?" "Li Juanhuan told me," she replied. Back in the classroom, Bai Yaoyao rummaged through her bag and then sprinted toward the elite class. Just as she was about to go in, she ran into Suzie, who sneered, "You're not one of our students. What are you doing here?" Bai Yaoyao replied coolly, "I'm looking for someone. Could you tell me how to get to the elite class? Our class rarely mixes with the bottom class. If there's a message, I can pass it along." Right then Bai Yaoyao wanted nothing more than to throttle the woman, anger boiling under her calm exterior. The next second she sent a message to Jiang Yingxia. But as soon as she left, Suzie whispered to her bestie, "That's the girl who keeps clinging to Jiang Yingxia." Hearing this, the friend immediately decided to teach Bai Yaoyao a lesson. She grabbed Bai Yaoyao by the collar and snapped, "Why are you meddling in someone else's relationship? If you know what's good for you, stay away from Jiang Yingxia from now on." The moment Jiang Yingxia saw his little wife being bullied, he rushed forward to shield her. Only after making sure she was unharmed did he finally breathe easier. The green tea bestie shot him a glare. "Jiang Yingxia, you're too timing. What about Zixin?" Jiang Yingxia only cast a cold glance at Suzie and said flatly, "Do you remember what I told you before? I don't want to embarrass you, explain it yourself." Suzie froze, not knowing what to do. She pulled Jiang Yingxia aside and pleaded, "Yingxia, if word gets out that my confession was rejected, people will laugh at me. It'll ruin my reputation." He asked calmly, "So what do you want to do? Let's just ignore it. Whatever rumors come out, we don't respond. Eventually, everyone will forget. Please." Faced with her persistence, Jiang Yingxia finally agreed. Back in the classroom, Suzie lunged at Bai Yaoyao, shouting, "Please stop clinging to Jiang Yingxia. He said it's not good to go public with a relationship at school." This time, Jiang Yingxia completely lost his temper. He shoved Suzie away and snapped, "We were never together. That I gave you a chance to explain, not to spread lies. You keep saying we're dating, so we must be in touch privately, right? Then tell me, do you even have my contact info? Do you know what I'm allergic to or what I like?" Suzie, no lie goes unbroken and no love can be forced. You once said gossip can really hurt a girl. But when you spread rumors, did you ever think about Bai Yaoyao's feelings? You disgust me. With that, he grabbed Bai Yaoyao's hand and stormed out. Bai Yaoyao was stunned, so Jiang Yingxia could be this brave. He deserves a thumbs up for standing up for me. But Jiang Yingxia muttered quietly, "I wasn't trying to be a hero. That I was just afraid I couldn't protect you. That if I can't even handle something this small, how could I ever be someone you rely on?" Bai Yaoyao's face instantly flushed red. Smiling shyly, she said, "To reward my hero today, I'll treat you to hot pot tonight." Just then, a message popped up on her phone. Bai Yaoyao froze for a long moment after reading it. Jiang Yingxia assumed she was short on money and told her to use his first. Bai Yaoyao snapped, "Impossible. Jiang Yingxia, who are you looking down on? From now on, you'd better call me Rich Lady Yaoyao." Time seemed to fly. A pang struck her heart. Was she about to part ways with Jiang Yingxia? After the tutoring sessions ended, Bai Yaoyao also moved out of the Jiang family's old estate. Every morning she found herself wanting to hop on her bike, as if riding it could let her feel Jiang Yingxia's warmth again. Meanwhile, Li Juanhuan was busy with recovery training for his upcoming competition. Bai Yaoyao cheered him on. Li Juanhuan, you've got this. I even prepared this for you. We can't afford to lose our momentum. Li Juanhuan felt helpless. This is track and field, not basketball. Soon it was his turn to take the field. But after only a few steps, shrieks erupted behind him. Li Juanhuan wanted nothing more than to crawl into a hole. Suddenly Bai Yaoyao froze in place. Wei Liming. How was he here? Why had their meeting come so early in this life? She remembered the previous life. From senior year to college, Wei Liming had always been by her side. That he was a good person, but not the right one. Bai Yaoyao made a silent vow. Wei Liming, in this life I don't want to continue our story. Let's set each other free. With the crack of the starting gun, the race began. Li Juanhuan was in terrible shape. His legs felt like they were about to snap. I don't want to give up like this. The finish line is right there. I can't accept it. But in the end he couldn't hold on. When Li Juanhuan collapsed on the track, the crowd panicked and rushed him to the hospital. Bai Yaoyao's eyes dimmed with sorrow. Nothing has changed. What can I possibly do to alter this fate? As she ran out, Jiang Yingxia quickly chased after her. Yaoyao, what's wrong? Come back with me. She suddenly stopped and asked, Jiang Yingxia, do you like me? You're so gentle I can't even tell anymore. When he stayed silent, Bai Yaoyao let out a cold laugh. So in the end, nothing has changed. In the following days, Bai Yaoyao wandered around the sports field. Curious, Li Yan'an asked, you seem pretty free lately. Why aren't you chasing after your Jiang Yingxia anymore? Bai Yaoyao sighed softly. Ever since he rejected my confession at the hospital, we haven't seen each other. Li Yan'an chuckled. Rejected, huh? That's rough. But the next second he suddenly kissed her. Bai Yaoyao's eyes flew wide in shock. After the kiss, Li Yan'an covered her mouth and muttered, I figured it was worth celebrating. Bai Yaoyao raised her fist to hit him, stammering, Li Yan'an, you've lost your mind. You're morally bankrupt. I treated you like a brother and you... Before she could finish, Li Yan'an caught her wrist. He shot back, who's your brother? Don't play dumb with me. I'll make it clear today, so listen well. Bai Yaoyao, I like you. I've liked you for 5 years. Bai Yaoyao froze, stunned into a long silence. Then she suddenly bowed, spun around and bolted. I just remembered, I haven't finished my winter break homework. I'm heading home. Bye. Watching her rush off, Lu Ji frowned. What on earth was that? She looked like she'd seen a ghost. Then it clicked. Li Yan'an, don't tell me you confessed to her? Li Yan'an avoided her gaze, muttering, you're terrible at studying, but your instincts in this stuff are dead on. Lu Ji sighed. Aren't you leaving for abroad soon? Why say it now and cause her more trouble? Li Yan'an's tone hardened. It's exactly because I'm leaving that I had to say it. I've liked her for 5 years, only to realize I was never really by her side. At the very least, I want her to remember me. Then he turned the tables. Enough about me. What about you and Shao Qi? Lu Ji sighed. I'm different from you. When the feeling of liking someone fades, it fades. To me now it's meaningless. Every secret crush has its own suffering. Half a month later, on the first day back at school, Li Yan'an ran into Wei Liming at the gate. He teased, oh, an outsider waiting for someone. Wei Liming, standing there with your hands in your pockets waiting for your future girlfriend. Hope that's not illegal. These days Bai Yaoyao lived in constant anxiety. Looking at the 2 hungry wolves in the distance, she thought, it's over. She's about to be a lamb to the wolves. Staring at the nearby fence, she quietly steeled herself. For the sake of surviving, I'll give it everything. But just as she'd climbed halfway up, Jiang Yingxia's voice came from behind. Yaoyao, be careful. Your pant leg is snagging on the fence. Don't move, I'll help you. At the same time, the 2 hungry wolves had already closed in at the gate. Wei Liming called out with a grin, Yaoyao, don't be scared. If you fall, I'll catch you. Oh, so your name's Yaoyao. I'm Wei Liming. Jump this way. Your future husband will scoop you up. Hanging on the fence, Bai Yaoyao was in tears. What sin did I commit to deserve this? Maybe I should just jump and be done with it. She was about to give up when suddenly Mijusher leapt out, scolding, Hey you gatecrashers, do you think I don't see you? Back in the office, the 3 idiots started arguing over who would cover for Bai Yaoyao. Miju Shirtai slammed down the rules. You three write a 2,000-word apology. By Yao Yao you write 3,000 words. When they came out, Bai Yao Yao was in tears. Lu Ji comforted her. It's okay, Yao Yao. After class I'll sit with you and write it. He added jokingly, you deadly Yenin, just wait. I'll teach you a lesson in the next 2 days. Bai Yao Yao mustered her courage. Jiang Yingxia, can we talk? Even though his earlier confession hadn't received a response, Li Yenin pressed on. I still want to say it. I like you. I've liked you for a long time. You have your reservations. If you don't want to respond, that's fine. Just let me keep liking you with no expectation of a reply. Can we still be like we were before? Jiang Yingxia froze on the spot. Yao Yao, do you realize how dazzling you are? Like the sun, blazing and bright, so much that I feel too lowly to even reach for you. I know I don't deserve it, but when you extend your hand, I just can't let go. Seeing this block of wood finally open his heart, Bai Yao Yao was overjoyed. But as soon as she went downstairs, she caught sight of her best friend flirting with Shao Qi. She was about to step in and rescue her friend, but Jiang Yingxia stopped her. When did you and Shao Qi get together? Bai Yao Yao instantly recalled her friend's lonely expression at her wedding in the previous life. So it really was that playboy Shao Qi who stole my cabbage. Her friend only smiled. It's nothing really. Shao Qi kept pursuing me, and since I was single we just ended up together. Jiang Yingxia pressed. Weren't you always hung up on that boy you liked in middle school? Her friend admitted softly. That boy was Shao Qi. Bai Yao Yao nearly collapsed. After all her persuading, it turned out they were mutually in love. After school, a man suddenly called out at the gate. Xiaoxia, I've been waiting a long time. Can we talk? Jiang Yingxia instantly bristled with caution. The man's face was filled with guilt. Xiaoxia, I'm sorry. Back then I had no choice but to leave you and your mother. Jiang Yingxia answered coldly, the one you owe is my mother. He turned to leave, but the man grabbed his arm. Xiaoxia, don't be like this. I truly want to make it up to you. Bai Yao Yao slapped the man's hand away. Uncle, if you really care about Jiang Yingxia, then stop pestering him here and making things harder for him. She shielded Jiang Yingxia behind her and snapped. You say you want to make amends, but you've never cared about his feelings. Can't you see how much your presence troubles him? This is nothing but selfishness. The man shifted uncomfortably, finally muttering, I didn't think it through. I'm sorry, Xiaoxia, I'll come back another time. Bai Yao Yao breathed a sigh of relief. Jiang Yingxia, I'm okay now. Let's go back. Before she finished, he grabbed her hand and pulled her along. In a quiet corner, Jiang Yingxia wrapped his arms around her and buried his face in her shoulder. Yao Yao, I like you. Just let me hold you like this. She hugged him back and felt him tremble. In that moment, it was as if she'd touched the deepest scar inside him. Over the next few days, the moment classes ended, two obsessives would show up at the classroom door looking for Lu Ji and Bai Yao Yao. So intimidating that neither of them dared return to class. Yao Yao, those two are worse than traffickers. I'm hiding from Shao Qi because we argued. Why are you avoiding Li Yenin? Bai Yao Yao shrugged. Because that guy's gone crazy. Ever since he confessed, it's like a switch flipped. He won't leave me alone. Her friend whispered in excitement. Remember yesterday when you and Jiang Yingxia read your apology together? That scene went wild. Everyone downstairs was shipping you two. Why aren't you happy about it? Bai Yao Yao forced a smile. Ever since we finished that apology together, he's been keeping his distance. One day hot, the next day cold. Her friend's eyes lit up. I've got a plan. Go mope to the love-struck second male lead, make it look real, and Jiang Yingxia, who's been bottling it up, will totally walk in on you. Then Xiao Jiang will blow up with jealousy and launch a full-on alpha move to claim his little wife. So spicy and swoon-worthy. Pick Li Yenin as the second lead. He's basically handing himself to you. Bai Yao Yao was speechless. I told you to stop reading novels. Soon it was time to go home. As usual, Bai Yao Yao walked home with Jiang Yingxia. But Wei Liming suddenly popped up out of nowhere. Yao Yao, you're moving so slow. Perfect timing. Let's all go have dinner together. The rivals glared at each other like they wanted to rip each other apart. Bai Yao Yao thought, oh no. This can't actually turn into some melodramatic domineering romance plot, can it?